you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Off is a fucking terrorist.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It was our job to help law enforcement. It was our job to help law enforcement. It was our job to help law enforcement. It was our job to help law enforcement.
Okay. Welcome to the Prof Show. Let's see if you can hear me, and we'll be moving right along. Just a moment here. All right. So, hey, welcome to Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Can you believe the shit in these YouTube streets? Oh, man, I've never seen anything like it. And I've been here a few years. So I don't know what to tell you. I think everybody's smoking crack or something. Because I have never seen anything like this in my life. And I'm here to talk about it tonight. I mean, needless to say, from the thumbnail, I think all of you probably understand where this show is headed. But it's going to be different, okay? Because I don't buy into all the bullshit and distraction like most people. So I'm not going to be going down that road. But we will be talking about something that matters. In which I will be using this recent debacle to use as a jumping off point into sort of giving the dad lecture to the community or speaking some sense into the chaos. So whatever. Excuse me. So I want to say hello to everybody, first of all, who's in the chat, and let you know tonight as we're recording is October 22nd. So, wow, we're deep in October and we're almost to the end of the month. So that's something. There is a little news here and there, not much that I care about, but I'm sure you've all been seeing the news in the DELPHI verse. So that's something. And, geez. Anyway, I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of talking tonight. And sort of have a little glimmering of a headache. So hopefully that subsides and we can move forward. Anyway, for all of you who might be new and who have been baited in by the thumbnail, well, thank you and welcome on in. Please stick around and take a listen. Give us a chance. Take a listen to what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Because we all know this is a consumer society, right? So you probably came in for a certain reason and you're not going to get what you came in for, but you might get something better. And so that's the point. Okay. So I want to say hello to everybody and I'm going to talk about other things as well. So, let's see. First of all, I'm going to say hello to my lovelies in the chat. All of you new people, join the chat. It's nice. All you got to do is hit subscribe and calm down for 5 minutes, and you'll be let on in. Just, cooperate with the mods, okay? That's the request. And let's see. We'll be flying somewhat by the seat of my pants tonight because I was going to get together a whole presentation. I'm like, no. It's not. That's not why I'm here. Okay, I'm not going to do a whole presentation. I may pull up a few screenshots to demonstrate to you or use as an example a few of the things that I'm talking about. But We got people out here making a mountain out of molehills, and vice versa as well. And that's where I'm headed with this conversation. But let me go ahead and say hello to those who are in the chat, because I do appreciate them being in the chat. And if you want me to say hello to you, just join the damn chat, okay? It's easy. If you're on the replay, leave a comment down below. I'll say hi to you. But anyway, we got Kay Miri in here super early. Dr. Corbo's Feel Good Fun Time Medicine Show is in here. Lisa, all right. Sweet Dude Shibby is in here. He'll be tracking all the trolls, so don't even think of it if you're thinking about it. Miss Pie Crust is here. What up, Miss Pie Crust? Deb's in here as always. What's up, Deb? Love you. Okay, we got Ninja Warrior Assassin hanging out again. What's up, Ninja? We got let's see, Quad Axel Mimi. What up, Quad? Okay, Heavy Metal Rehab. What's up, sweetheart? We got Digital, probably blocked by Ruckus Cox since 2023. What's up, Digital? We love you, Digital. You know that Digital is one of the heaviest hitters in the commenter community here in the Delphi murder. So yeah, if you see Digital around these streets, take a good listen. Digital is always adding something relevant. Really good perspective Digital brings. Okay, who else we got in here? I'm getting through it. Let's see. Old Mort, New Mort. Hey, what's up? I'm getting I'm getting your messages, Old Mort. I'm just flooded with work. Same to you, Yotan Yeager, if you happen to watch this. I'm getting your messages. You don't understand. I'm homeschooling my kid. That's a whole 9 yards. So what's up, Moonbeam 70s child? Okay. And we got Lisa, Carla Ann, Critter Mama, Eliana Davidson from the Europe. So what's up, Eliana? Carla Ann says hello to everybody. Critter Mama, Tiffany Renee. What's up, Tiffany? Okay, Miss Pie Crust in here still hasn't sent me a pie. Heavy Metal Rehab, Rotting Jules. Hello to you. Arthur Claremont. What's up, Mr. Claremont? Good to see you. Mino Dino. What up, Mino? Okay. Mino Dino says, have I won the silver? No, we're going to talk about that. You guys, man, what the hell? No one's interested in the raffle. Tammy, what's up, Tammy? Okay. Goddess, hey, what up, Goddess? Mino Dino. Stephanie, hello, Stephanie. It's a new day. What's up, sweetheart? Miss you. Okay. Tammy Martin, hey, Tammy Martin. Texas Souser, good to see you, Texas Souser. Okay, Claremont. All right. What happened to my deal here? Hold on. Just a moment. My deal's not cooperating here. We got to fix that immediately. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Okay, I fixed it. All right. Who else we got in here? David Rogers. Hello, sir. What's up, David? David Rogers in the chat. Rebecca Ann. Hey, there you are. You're tardy. You have strep throat. Oh, God bless. Do something for yourself. All right. Anna Paula Baxter, what's up? Okay. Lowered Customs, good to see you. Is that right, Eliana Davidson? Am I confused? Am I confusing you with someone else? I apologize. Just goes to show you I'm confused. All right. So, yeah. So anyhow, Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see if I can get my mind in the right place. Um, I don't know where to jump off, really. I'm almost at a loss for words. So I guess I'll have to reverse engineer where I'm headed because I can't really do this. This will be really informal. We're going to pretend we're on Twitch, I guess. It's going to be really informal tonight. I'll probably make a lot of mistakes. In other words, I'll be fishing to pull up screenshots or whatever if I'm going to do that. Like I said, fly by the seat of our pants. What's up, Four Pits? All right, so let me just dive in like this. I've been absolutely stunned. Okay, listen. If you're paying attention behind me and the thumbnail, I mean, it's no secret that what's all the rage this week is this person's claims behind me that were set off by a 9-hour unhinged live stream. And you know, as if that wasn't bad enough, I just feel like, okay, it could have been enough. You know, it could have been like when people show you who they are, believe them, right? That's the adage. So this whole thing could have started and ended as quickly as a 9-hour live stream. And what's really disappointed me is not so much the 9-hour live stream, because that's to be expected, okay? But it's been the aftermath. Now, I know that in Delphi, okay, so let's speak from a Delphi-centric perspective right now. In Delphi, we had nothing go viral this entire time, okay? The entire Delphi case, and I mean all the way back to 2017, 2019, 2020, 2022, 2024, we never had a single thing go viral, okay? We have put in thousands of hours of work on this, serious fucking work, okay? Not only me, but remember my buddy Rafi, right? Rafi put in serious work on this case. You might remember old Joe Lewis, serious work on this case. Myself, serious work on this case. And with all of that, we could never get anyone to pay attention to this. And I find it very fucking odd, and that's what we're going to get into tonight, that someone like this, because of an unhinged wine stream for 9 hours, could suddenly have every goddamn YouTuber in true crime perpetuating her plight, okay? In other words, you made her go viral. All right. And this is very bizarre to me and concerning, because in all, I look at where we are. I mean, I must have seen 3 to 4 live streams go live today, and then yesterday, and then the day before, and then the day before that, and the day before that. Okay. So every day since this thing happened, every subsequent day has been a handful of live streams, just nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. On both sides. Now, let's be real here. Just like with the Patty family in Delphi, the majority consensus is that this woman is unhinged and deserved everything she got and will get and is getting, including my use of her image in a thumbnail tonight. So the karma is coming back around to hit her real good, just like the liars in Delphi. Okay, no doubt. Those Delphi folks get ratioed every single time there's a news article or a news report in which there's public comments attached. There is a constant ratioing of negativity headed towards the narrative pushers in Delphi. So anyone who actually pays attention can observe that. There's a lot of negative reaction to the narrative pushing in Delphi. And so this woman is now getting her narrative responded to negatively, as should be, okay? Because let's be honest here, most people are good people who have the capacity to call out the bullshit they're seeing in real time. So I always assume the intelligence of my listeners and not the ignorance of my listeners. Although I gotta say, having to push my ideas out to you repeatedly and endlessly repeat myself over my thoughts in Delphi has been somewhat like banging my head against the wall, and I feel like, oh my God, will my viewers ever get it? But with that being said, I guess my response at this moment to seeing all this is distraction. Okay. What I am seeing is an absolute distraction campaign from both sides. Okay. And by both sides, I mean both sides in this woman's argument and both sides in the Delphi case. Because remember, this thing right here was one of the boot-licking narrative pushers in Delphi. Okay. Don't forget that. Okay. This thing right here came into the Delphi case knowing absolutely fucking nothing. Okay. If you bring yourselves back to the time of the trial of Richard Allen, this woman burst onto the scene knowing absolutely nothing with tens of thousands of subscribers, came into the scene, interjected herself, and claimed some sort of authority. And she did that by aligning with the prosecutor and Jerry Holman and the judge and all of the fucking bootlickers and Aspen Connor and all of the assholes that have been up to no good covering up this murder from day one. Okay, that's what this thing did. And after sentencing, she even got her ass on a plane and said, you know, Judge Gold called out Rick Allen for rolling his eyes in court and said, Rick Allen, you've been rolling your eyes the whole time. And she said, oh, I was astonished by that, but he has no remorse. Okay. For killing Abby and Libby. Now, look, anybody rational, anybody with a modicum of sanity who observes this Delphi case, anybody with the slightest bit of intelligence and skepticism who has honestly taken a look at this Delphi case, anyone with a sliver of intelligence has agreed and come to the conclusion that there's something wrong here, that this is a bigger crime than you would suspect, that it is a cover-up, and that Richard Allen was wrongfully convicted and railroaded by the force of the state of Indiana coming down on him very hard. So anyone like this coming into this case late to the game and immediately running with the state's narrative for clout and clicks and views and credibility really shows where their motivations are. So this thing here, I didn't care for since the minute she showed her face on this scene, because I saw what was happening, right? And I'm sure many of you did too. Now, with that being said, you have to look at this thing that's going on now with the uniparty about Delphi. Okay, because we talk about Delphi here. All right, we talk about Delphi. I have been screaming out to you for a year now that there is a comprehensive narrative control campaign in Delphi that goes back before Richard Allen's arrest, years and years and years. A campaign which utilizes obvious local meth head, occult, pedophile, state shills. Those are the ones who threaten, who dox, who harass, who have been on this campaign of terror, creating an atmosphere of terror and fear in the Delphi community for years. And then there is the other side, which is the defense adjacent contingent, who pretend to care all about justice and all about the rights of Richard Allen and all about the victims. Yet they have a stranglehold on the narrative wherein you are not allowed to question the narrative whatsoever. You are not allowed to question the family whatsoever. You're not even allowed to question the family's actions or inactions whatsoever. Not to mention implying that they might have had something to cover up here. You're not even allowed to mention other POIs who are not their approved POIs. This is what's called controlled opposition. Okay? Now, what's illuminating about this scenario with this thing back here in the past handful of days is that there's been a flurry of activity. A great noise has been stirred up from both sides. Okay? Both sides. So in other words, you see the people that that are creating all this noise backing this thing up, right? All of this kind of noise. She's a victim. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Just, you might notice that they're very law enforcement centric or state narrative pushing types of people who back this thing up. Okay. And in addition, if you go to Twitter right now, what you're going to see is you're going to see hundreds and thousands of posts from the Mean Girls or the Delphi defense contingent spamming hate and rage about this story. Not talking about Richard Allen, not talking about the case at all, not talking about alternative theories of the crime, not talking about the nature of the cover-up. No, saying how much they hate this woman. Noise, distraction. Okay? It's all noise and distraction. Now, you might start to be able to put together a couple things with that in mind. You might go back to the prior noise fest, which was the Jerry Holman deposition. That was about a good week of noise, right? And then before that, it was Adrian and Christina. And then before that, it was 6 months of Prof is a bad guy. Prof is a state actor. I got to sprinkle a little Amy G in there too, because of course they went after her too. Amy G's a state actor. Oh, and then least I forget, Erica Morris is a state actor. So as you look at all this, what you should be seeing is a distraction campaign, a long-term distraction campaign to keep you and me from talking about anything pertinent, anything relevant to this case, like the largest CSAM investigation in Indiana history, or like a major pedophile ring that was uncovered due to accessing Kagan Klein's devices in Dropbox and social media. Now, I just find it odd that who do you find that will not be talking about any of that? Who will you find who actually try to separate that from being relevant? Well, Mean Girls and the Troll Farm. Defense contingent, prosecution contingent, the whole uniparty. They don't want to connect Kagan Klein to the Delphi murders whatsoever. They will tell you there's no connection. They're not connected. They will also tell you Flora's not connected. They might also tell you, well, Evansdale and the Stevensons, they're not connected. They might say the Memphis Three are not connected. You know, the Zodiac Killer's not connected. Every fucking case that appears to be connected, they're going to tell you they're absolutely not connected. So when it comes to this distraction campaign, this is what I'm getting at. All of this noise keeps you from focusing on what's important. It entertains you with rage bait, like this woman behind me. It distracts you with drama, irrelevant nitpicking of court documents that don't even matter. I've said so many times, I like the allusion to magic because I align this entire case with magic, but I always say magic with a K because we're dealing with nihilistic, pedophilic, occult, meth using, sex magic with a K, thelemic weirdos. And these are your very own defense advocates. These are your very own primary individuals of the troll farm. Many of them have connections to the three-letter agencies. Others have connections to the biker gangs. And most of the central figures behind all of this are computer programmers. Oh, yeah, they'll work in various fields. They might be at an IT help desk. They might work designing state-of-the-art programs utilizing AI, writing code for proprietary reasons. They might own technology consulting services. They might be undercover attorneys. That's right, attorneys who are still active in their states of residence, who don't tell you they're attorneys, but they're behind these fake accounts on the YouTubes and in the Reddits and on Twitter. And you're like, who is this person? Oh, we dox them behind the scenes, but it's like, oh, this is a fucking attorney in Indiana? Oh, one in New York? Oh, one in Texas? Oh, we got a son of a judge, a daughter of a judge. We got a daughter of an attorney general. We got the brother of a CIA front company. Come on, man. And all of these people are the central figures behind this campaign. And we start to put together and say, you know what? It appears that they must be working for some PR company and they're contracted out because we're finding individuals in Los Angeles. We're finding individuals in Columbus. We find individuals in Houston. We find individuals in Raleigh. We find individuals in New York. Detroit, they're all over. They're sprinkled like fucking pepper over the United States in every major city. And people just don't get it. People just don't get it, no matter how many times we say it, because we don't want to show you everything. See, we're not going to show all our cards. Yeah, we've already shown a good third of them. But do you think we're going to show everything all at once so that they will know what to go delete off the internet? Because it's not bad. I mean, it's bad enough that most of these people have already wiped their internet histories and their families' internet histories and blurred out all of their homes and former homes on the Google Maps and shit. So when you try to look into these people, it's like a needle in a haystack to even find a single thing. But all of these people are making all of this noise this week about this woman. And it's just like every single other wave that comes, because all of this always comes in waves, you know, and it just seems like every month there's another wave that comes through. And every time it's an absolute noise fest. It's so much noise. If you go to Twitter, you would swear like this is the end of the world on this topic. You know, and then you go look a month ago and you'll find something else that it was the end of the world about. And then another month back, something else it was the end of the world about. And trust me, it's astonishing because when you look into this Delphi, for instance, what you find is all of these people are central behind every single leak that has happened. And all of these leaks have done damage to the whole process, right? All of these leaks have been sabotage in effect to true justice. And it's just been wave of leak after wave of leak after wave of leak after wave of leak. And it's always the same people. And of course, they always make me and my crowd the bad guys. You know, sure, I've said a couple bad words a time or two, you know, because what they do, they trigger you to where you literally, you know, you want to do harm to them. So they push you to the absolute tipping point, and then when you lose your temper and you call them a cunt or an asshole or something or a chomo, then they act like it's the end of the world. And they turn back on you and say, nobody watched Prof. He called so-and-so a cunt. Yeah, you mean I called the cunt for being a cunt? Because that's what matters, right? That my choice of a four-letter word for someone at a moment of anger after being pushed to the boiling point, that's what really matters in this case, or in any of these cases. Come on, man. I expected better of my followers because let's be honest here. Anyone following me, you know, I lost 2/3 of my viewers. I lost 2/3 of the money I was getting off of this platform. I lost 2/3 of the clicks and the views and all the shit because I called you out. And it wasn't the first time, because if you go back 3 years, when I had my first run-ins with the ones who were threatening to kill me literally often, when I had my first run-in with them, I lost a lot of followers. Okay. So it's just odd that every time this cycle comes back around, I end up being on the losing end for calling the shit out. You know, it's like, you don't want to hear it, huh? So what kind of fantasy world are the viewers living in? They don't want to hear the actual truth. I thought that's why you're here. And it doesn't matter how many receipts I throw up. Oh, you see what that is? That's one of the trolls there. Now they're going to start calling my fucking phone. Okay? Now they're going to start calling my fucking phone. Look. Okay? They're going to start calling my phone endlessly to try to throw me off this stream. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. See? I'm making the shit up though. I'm I'm making the shit up. I'm making it all up. Um, that just serves as an example of what I'm talking about. So let's talk. Okay, I want to talk right now about some reality. Because this woman here behind me, she's not living in reality. Okay, she's living in a fantasy world. Um, and I find it highly offensive. And I guess this is kind of what I'm going through with this whole being mystified by the viral nature of this current, you know, uh, this current, I don't know, what do you call it, controversy. It's really mystifying that people have gotten so engaged with it, because I told a friend the other day, I thought, man, this is weird. This is weird because this woman has triggered an entire avalanche of virality in this community with false allegations of stalking, okay? Which is odd because for 3 years now, I've shown you real reality of stalking. For instance, I've shown you 15 to 20 direct death threats that I've received over the years. Not once has anyone ever called me offering me any sort of support, legal assistance, anything like that, right? Sorry, I'm gonna deal with this pussy right now. He says, see, my phone is still going off. My phone is still going off. So now I have to deal with this. This is the shit I have to put up with just to do a damn live stream. Um, so nice try, faggot. Okay. So now the phone is off. So you can stop calling because the phone is off now. All right. Um, I guess what I'm getting at is I've had more than a dozen literal death threats by text message, by voice message, by voicemail, by video, by comment section, and by email. I've sent all those death threats to law enforcement. Nothing ever done. I also have received at least 30 fucking packages to my mailbox. 30 fucking mailings. All right. And you want to talk about stalking? Many of you know that a couple years ago, I took a trip to Delphi. And I'm going to tell that story again because, see, I was stalked. And you all need to know that. Because people like this who claim stalking when they're not being stalked, they do no service to those who are and have been actual victims of this type of thing in this community. And trust me, true crime is a truly evil genre, a truly evil genre. The amount of deaths are unbelievable in this community. Look, we had Robert Fortson lose his life over this case. Did you see that go viral? Like this woman's bullshit has gone viral? No. No. We had Captain Howdy and his wife, both in a murder-suicide, lose their lives over this case. Did you see that go viral? Nope. Nope, not at all. There have been deaths before those two in this community, before trial. Did you see any of that ever go viral? There has just been another death the other day that is very much looking like it is a direct result of whistleblowing on the Anthony Shots Keegan Klein account. Have you heard that go viral yet? Nothing important goes viral, but this shit will. False claiming, stalking. It's unbelievable. So I think it was 2023. I'd have to get my calendar and really look at it. That I decided, hey, I'll drive to Indiana and I'm going to go to Delphi and I'm going to bring my really nice camera and my drone and a sidearm, and I'm going to go to Delphi and I'm going to do some boots on the ground work, right? So what I did is I decided I'm not going to tell anyone. Putt. I don't know, 36-hour drive, whatever it was. Right? Putt. I drove all the way to Indianapolis. I had an Airbnb. Went to sleep, exhausted from the drive, right? Woke up the next morning. Oh, I had an interesting email. Something from Doug Carter, whatever, Doug Carter, blah, blah, blah. I clicked on it. Didn't think anything of it. Other than, wow, it went to a very strange website. Very fucking strange website. So I didn't know what to do about it. I got out of the website. I closed it. I was like, well, that was weird. That seems sus. All right. The very next morning. So in other words, I arrived at my Airbnb in Indianapolis. Woke up the very next morning, 7:30 a.m. or so. I had an email waiting for me. I clicked the link in the email. Went to a weird site. I backed out of it. I Googled the site. What is the site? Oh, you've been hacked. I thought, oh, that's not too good. Doesn't sound too good. So then there were some things I had to do in Indianapolis. I wanted to do some sightseeing, and I did the sightseeing with my little boy. I wanted to do some restaurants, some sightseeing, whatever I had to do, some drone filming. So I did my few days in Indianapolis. Finally, the weather cleared up a little. And this was just so you know, because I'll get to this later. This was right before the failed protest. You guys remember the failed protest? Okay. We'll get to that. Anyway, here we are, like a few days. We're in November, a few days before the failed protest at the state capitol. And remember, I'm staying in Indianapolis, so I can go to the protest if I want. I'm just blocks away. Literally, I was like 3 blocks away where I was staying. So I drive to so about 4 days into the trip, 5 days into the trip, I drive to Delphi. And the way that worked is I drive to Delphi. And gosh, I got to say, for you spiritually intuitive types out there, there is an absolute cloud over that place, right? There is an absolute cloud. So basically, when you head off that highway or the interstate, whatever it is, you're near Lafayette, you break off to that little highway to head towards Delphi. Soon as you hit that highway heading into Delphi, it's just real ominous. It's almost like a dome of gloom. Okay, it's like you're entering the twilight zone, literally. Anyway, so I enter the twilight zone, and in my mind, my first priority was Wilson Bridge, because as you all know, who have followed my channel, I highly suspect that something horrible happened out there at Wilson Bridge, and that the whole high bridge is a distraction. Okay, so I headed out to Wilson Bridge, and that was my first stop. So I stopped at Wilson Bridge, and like I said, I made sure that I had everything I needed. So I had my camera, and I had the drone, and I had this, and I had that. And we went down to Wilson Bridge. We started to do some filming and photography. And I did what I had to do at Wilson Bridge. Probably took an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half. I basically did as much as I could, but I needed to save a little battery on the drone because I knew I wanted to film some of the drone footage out there at High Bridge. So I used about half of my batteries, and then the other batteries made sure were fully charged and remained so that I could go film at High Bridge. Okay, so wrapped it up at Wilson Bridge, and then I put over to High Bridge. I parked, and then me and the kid, we got out and we walked over to High Bridge. Put the drone up, and I did a bunch of filming and photography. So, probably another hour at High Bridge, and I did photography. I was changing out lenses, doing what I could, try to make nice photography. And then I threw the drone up, and I probably filmed about 19 minutes until I noticed I was running out of capacity. And I said, oh man, I only got about 4 minutes left. So it's kind of time to wrap this up. So eventually I turned the drone around and I flew it back. And then the drones, once I get to the zone where I'm going to land it, I just hit land and it lands. And usually it's an automated thing where when it lands, it kills its power so that no one goes sever a finger trying to pick up the drone. Anyhow, the drone landed and the power's cut. And I still heard, for the first time ever in my life, I still heard the buzzing sound. And I thought, uh-oh, something's not right. Something's not right. And I heard the drone buzzing in, and I thought, well, why is that sound still going? And I almost had this moment of mental confusion. I'm like, am I hearing things? But I realized it was getting louder, and I looked up, and in comes this drone. That's a very nice drone. I would say you're talking about a $3,000 to $5,000 drone, $3,000 or $4,000 drone, a nicer drone, a bigger drone. It's still a DJI, I believe, though. But it comes in, and it's about 70 feet up, and it comes right above me and my kid, and then it starts circling in about, I don't know, 100-foot, radius. It's kind of circling me and my kid, and we're literally out there at the High Bridge. And the minute that happened, I'm like, oh no, something's not right here. So we book it out of there. And we book it out. And just as soon as we hit Freedom Bridge, wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Because as soon as I started booking it out of there, I noticed the drone took off at high speed and booked it out of there as well. And we were damn near running down the trails towards Freedom Bridge. As fast as a 4-year-old can run. You know, I was jogging and trying to let him keep up with me. And the whole time holding a camera and a drone and the remote and all this. Anyway, hit Freedom Bridge, and wouldn't you know it, who do I see passing under the Freedom Bridge but the son of the police commissioner of Carmel, Indiana for 40 fucking years. That's right. That's right. Mr. Drone himself. Yeah. Mr. Indiana Drone himself. And remember, I've told you before, that same gentleman has taxied around Doug Carter to some of the hearings. And one of our troll farm members has been witnessed getting out of the truck with, so imagine this, the nastiest troll farm member getting out of the truck with the son of the police commissioner and Mr. Douglas Carter. That's who was filming. So that's what we call stalking in real life, using a drone. This person has been known to use a drone to stalk others, which I had already had knowledge of before I even headed out there. That's why I knew what the vehicle looked like, because I already had an idea of the vehicle this individual drove, which was very distinctive. So I get back to my state and I draft about an email about this long to Mr. Douglas Carter, who was still state police superintendent at the time, because I had not yet woken up and realized that he's part of the cancer. And I detailed in my letter to Mr. Carter that I was stalked by a drone. And I described to him who the individual was, what the individual was driving, the model of the drone that was being flown, and the dates and times. I also forwarded to him the website I was sent and the phishing link and the email address that was an anonymous email address that sent me the hacking link. And I remembered at the time, I thought, wow, you know, I've sent Douglas Carter death threats that I had received, that I had forwarded to him saying, you know, Mr. Carter, I'm receiving these death threats and I'm covering Delphi. And I always wondered why I never got a reply. And of course, I didn't get a reply to the stalking by drone. But I think you'll all understand that it's obvious now why Mr. Carter didn't reply, because he was perfectly fine with it. At the behest of Mr. Carter, I was being stalked and threatened with death for my opinions on Delphi, which is quite a disappointment, but he is in the club. Let's not kid ourselves here. But with all of that, okay, with dozens of direct death threats, including on recording, with in-person stalking, with the doxing of my family members, the targeting of my family members, with the calling CPS to have them come and harass me for my opinions on Delphi. Oh yeah, with Bossy calling my police to report me for community post to try to have my police come into my house with a search warrant. I just don't get it. All of it proven to you in multiple posts and videos and live streams. Okay? Not a single person gave enough of a fuck to share the material, much less do what they've done for this woman, which is make her go viral. So she goes viral for non-death threats, for non-stalking. A narcissistic viral campaign of, I was stalked. And this is what I'm saying. This is a woman butthurt that things didn't go her way and she's not in control of the universe. And you got people out here like myself, and look, I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm one of the few. Okay? I'm one of the few. There's a few who've been literally stalked. Not one of us who have truly been stalked, who have truly been threatened with death, who have truly been recipients of dozens of mailings to our home, of packages to our home. There's a friend of mine who had a bullet in her driveway. No one seems to care because our stalking is invalidated. And this is what I mean. It just doesn't make sense because there is terrorism in true crime. There is stalking in true crime. There are death threats in true crime, and there are deaths in true crime. But it ain't this shit back here. Now, do you understand the point I'm trying to make in the direction I'm heading tonight? Anyway, there were some things I wanted to show. And like I said, I'm not prepared at all whatsoever because I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. But but everyone's vying for relevancy. Everyone's playing victim. Everyone wants to be important. And no one wants to tell the truth. That's what really bothers me. You know what I'm saying? That's what's really bothersome. The truth is free. The truth is liberating. The truth is contingent upon responsibility. Of course, that's in reality worlds. Yeah, I don't know how much time I want to waste looking for what I want to find. But you know, I'm almost to the point where I don't want to prove anything to you. You know, like I don't want to put anything up on the screen to prove my point because I've done it hundreds of times. If you don't take my word for it now, then you're not here in good faith because all you have to do is look. I've shown it and I possess it. Email me, I'll send you a copy. But I don't have to entertain you with screenshots tonight or whatever. Because I've endlessly demonstrated to you, like, hey, I've been a victim of the troll farm for 3 fucking years. You know, and since I decided to call out the cranks, I've been a victim of the cranks. The cranks are just better at what they do because they're more professional. Anyhow, so I guess what's the next level? The next level is I wonder, okay? What is it that she has to hide? In other words, this don't smell right to me. And just like I am used to the mean girls and what they do and the troll farm, you know what they all do? When something is about to break, okay, when something's about to break, some news, some turn in the case, some new piece of information, some bad negative piece of information, anytime something's about to break, they always cough up a leak, or suddenly they produce some compelling, insider evidence, or suddenly there's an urgent live stream that pops up and some lawyers got to run their mouths. Every time something's coming, they get ahead of it with distractions. Okay, is where I'm headed. So I'm wondering about this thing. I wonder if there's something coming that this is all distracting from, or getting ahead of, or laying the groundwork. Because you got to ask yourself, I've said in a comment the other day in someone's channel, I said, why would her husband let her do that? Think about it. Okay, does she not have a husband? Would he not know that this is not a good idea? So I kind of wonder, it's like, is there some kind of bad news going to break in Delphi or one of the other cases wherein there's going to be collusion, bad acting, I don't know, some sort of thing that there needs to be some sort of sympathy and distraction for with this individual? I mean, let's be real. She was in Delphi. Remember, she was in Delphi. Remember during that time, there was information that she came out with that was not known. Does anyone in the chat remember that? Remember during trial, there was something that came up, and I can't even remember what it was at this moment. But this woman came up with something that had not been said yet. And I want to say that Aspen Connor gave her some bit of information that she leaked. And I can't recall what that was right now, but it just shows that there was shit afoot. And remember, Becky Patty gave the entire troll farm a dinner. I don't know if you remember that too, because they all got a dinner for the help. But like I said, to come into this case last minute, out of the blue, all of a sudden you're positioning yourself as an authority covering this case, bootlicking, buddied up like this with McClellan and Holman. Is that true? I think Sunflower Soul caught it. Hold on. I somewhat remember that Sunflower. Where is she? Where is she at? You mean that they were reviewing? I think you're right, Sunflower. Something like that. This was something no one knew, but Aspen leaked to Lauren, and Lauren leaked to the world. And everyone at the time was like, whoa, 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 hold up. How does she know that? Where's that coming from? Because that would have to be coming from the state. You get what I mean? This would have to be coming directly from Holman or Mullen or McClellan. I think Sunflower's right here because she's always on top of shit. But it was something like that. But all I remember was a point. The point was this would have had to be something that was coming from directly from the prosecutor or Holman or Mullen. And we were all wondering, how the hell she get that? And then it was eventually revealed that she got it from Aspen. Well, Aspen was all in the mix with Hannah Shakespeare. So you got Hannah Shakespeare, Lauren, and Aspen, sort of a trifecta there. Yeah, it was something like that. I don't know, y'all. It was something bad, because what it would imply is that somebody in the state, or at the state, with the state, was leaking to this woman right here. Is that what's coming, or is it even worse? Or is it worse? I don't know. But I bet you something's coming. I mean, you bet your sweet ass. I would be willing to bet that something's coming. Something bad is coming in which she's implicated, and probably some prosecutor or cop. Because that's how it works with these people, right? Like, this is how they get credibility. Remember, murder sheet, right? This is murder sheet's MO, the troll farm, and she's one of them. The way they gain credibility is bootlicking. They lick the boot from heel to toe. And they believe that gives them instant credibility. So I know this, like I said, I'm not going to get much into the shit, but with this one back here, there's the rumor mill is just in full spin right now. It's going around and around and around. There's all kind of rumors. But I always admonish all of my viewers. I don't do rumors. I don't do the rumors. I don't spread rumors. I don't talk about rumors. I don't like rumors, but I hear them. And they come in the text messages and the emails. And I am telling you, the rumor mill is full force with this one. But like I said, that's why I said karma's coming, because what you did was evil, Lauren. What you did was evil. You celebrated. Like this short you made talking about Richard Allen rolling his eyes. There was glee in your eyes, saying that he had no remorse for killing Abby and Libby and that he was rolling his eyes, and the judge called him out for rolling his eyes. There was glee in your eyes, and you're wrong for that. Because there should be absolutely no reason in the world that you believe Richard Allen killed those girls. That was a strategic decision you made for clout, for clicks, for views, to further your career and your channel and your husband's whatever he does. So this is called karma, because there was glee in your eyes at the railroading of a man in an attempt to bury the Delphi murders case so that no one would ever figure out what actually happened with that case. And see, you can do what you want to do in terms of aligning with Doug Carter. Yeah, if you don't like it, leave the country. But then, Lauren, we are actual Americans. We're not leaving our country so that you all can live in a fucking hellscape in which you put people basically underground to bury homicides of children. And you were all shits and giggles. You were bouncing around. You were so joyful and gleeful in this whole process. And people were watching you. You see, I watched the whole fucking time. And I didn't say a damn thing until tonight. Because I'd figure I'd let you be wrong. Just like I've rarely said anything about Murder Sheet. I say I don't like them from time to time. but I let them be wrong because everyone sees you're all wrong. But I have to call it out. You were giddy. You were popping all around in Delphi, celebrating the railroading of a man that was a clear attempt to permanently bury a case in which 2 little girls were ritualistically sacrificed. And you think it's funny? You see, Holman thinks it's funny. I mean, I saw the photo. I don't know if anyone could email me that because I don't know where it is. I didn't save it, but I saw this morning. I got to tell you, something I saw this morning is absolutely unbelievable. I saw a photo of her, Nicholas McClellan, and Jerry Holman with ear to ear smiles, having beers and partying at a restaurant. You know, did any of you see that photo? You're partying, drinking beers, smiles ear to ear, bouncing all around the Delphi case when we're all watching a man get literally railroaded. And he even got ritualistic time. He got 130 years. What does that take the zero away? Take the zero away. 13. He got 13 with the zero. 130 years. They even marked his his sentencing with a number. Okay, just like they tried. Remember, see, you guys forget too easily. Remember that Judge Gold tried to have that announced at 2:13 p.m.? Remember, she tried to have the 130 to 13 years announced at 2:13, but a train stopped her from doing that because it threw her off a few minutes. But the intention was a 2:13 sentencing for 130 years. You can't make this shit up. And the whole time, this thing back here is giddy about it all. So I don't know, y'all. It's a difficult scenario because you got all this going on and real victims are dying. Real victims are dying. Real victims are losing their homes. They're losing their relationships. They're losing their finances. They're losing their sanity. The real victims of actual gang stalking, harassment, and smear campaigns in this true crime universe. It really happens to real victims who are out here doing real work and really being victimized. And this goes viral. I guess that's my whole point. We can end the show. I have nothing else to say. It's just absurd to me. But many things in pop culture are absurd to me. I constantly sit back in amazement, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Why does everyone give a fuck about this? I could give 2 fucks about this woman. She's a soulless, integrity. What do you call it? I don't know. Absent, clout chasing, bootlicking grifter. I guess I don't know. It's really insulting, like I said, because you have people like me and Rafi and others who have literally lost everything, including our faith in humanity. and our sanity, trying to chase down the truth of what these motherfuckers have done. And we're left to fend for ourselves. Why do you think there's nobody left in Delphi? Is anyone aware? Does anyone pay attention that everyone who's covered Delphi has pretty much gone away? There's a reason for that. It's called gang stalking, terrorism, harassment, fear, insanity. And I constantly reiterate, why would it be all this for two girls that are killed? Like, there's kids killed every day, unfortunately. There's literally every day there are kids killed, murdered. So why for Delphi? Why all of this? I repeated that 100 times in the past year. Why for Delphi? What makes Delphi different that all of this would be necessary? I mean, I highly recommend you go look at the live stream I just did about Kegan Kline's transcript of his interview called The Devil Knows. That's a really eye-opening stream, okay? It's really eye-opening. I've recommended before, you go find those crime scene photos yourself and take a little look at them. And I guarantee you, you'll walk away different. If you had any doubt before, your doubts will be erased, and you will absolutely know you are looking at something evil. And yes, all the murders of kids around the world are always evil. It's always evil. But this is truly evil. It's something else. It wasn't just the murder of two kids. It was using two kids. And to cover all that up, we face this reality, which is the Delphi social media sphere. I can't even, man. I can't even. We got to go through this circus. I mean, it's truly an evil circus. It's like something wicked this way comes, right? It's like a sinister, evil circus of distraction and magic. And this is victim advocacy. This is true crime. And in the meantime, everyone involved in this is still walking the earth. And, you know, Kegan Kline probably was. Okay, he probably was. So he's sitting his fat ass in prison. Okay. But that's because he was beaten off to some little 3-year-olds. Okay. So he's got a little token sentence. So he pays his price, but they still get to bury the case. Right? They still get to bury the Delphi murders, and they just make him get his pat on the wrist to go sit for 40 years or whatever it is. But they've put pretty much every Delphi creator in such a state of distress that people just go away. They've fallen off. Everyone's fallen off. A shout out to Rick Snay, because even Rick Snay, look, let's be honest here. Remember, this year alone, okay? This year alone, they got Noe in jail. Noe's in jail now. Okay? And look, let's be honest here. Noe was stalked. They just stalked Noe. I made the short the other day. I put a short up. They've been stalking Noe ever since he came out whistleblowing. And what you have to remind yourselves, what did Noe drop onto the scene for? Where did he come from when he burst onto the scene? He came whistleblowing about Kegan Kline, right? Noe Amos was housed in the same unit as Kegan. Kagan ran his fucking mouth both to Noe and his little boyfriend. The boyfriend ran his mouth to Noe. Noe came out of that facility, whistleblowed on Kagan Klein and all he had said, even went to the Indiana State Police and not only gave a verbal interview, but literally wrote down an entire statement with bullet points. And he's told me at one point in the past, meant 30 or 40 or 50 bullet points. That's why Noe came into the community. And look at what they did to Noe from the moment he came into this community. They stalked, harassed, defamed, mocked, right? Physically stalked, followed him all around, and provoked until he violated his probation, and now he's back in jail. Do you think that's by accident? And Rick Snay. They called Rick Snay's job. They called Rick Snay's wife job. They drove a wedge in their relationship. They attacked his channel. They attacked his friendships. They tried to divide his circle, his inner circle. And they've made it impossible for Rick Snay to do live streams. He's so busy trying to handle all the disasters, he can't even come and do the live streams he'd like to do. But shout out to Rick Snay, because I love Rick Snay. Rick and I have differences of opinions on various topics, but we agree to disagree, and we move along for Abby and Libby. But even Rick. So just in the past year, they've gotten rid of Noe. They've gotten rid of Rick. The year before, they got rid of Joe Lewis. They got rid of Raffy. Is it becoming clear what happens with people? Remember Julia? They went in real life with her and terrorized her to an extent that she came and did a live stream in tears and permanently left YouTube. It's literally been damn near every creator worth their salt in Delphi gone. And like I say, this exhibit you just saw where I get 30 phone calls in the middle of a live stream to kick me off the stream, or I get 30 pieces of mail sent to me, or I get the cops called. Oh, let's not forget, they reported Adrian and I for possession of CSAM because we posted the Roblox video, which is an animated video that somebody sick created celebrating the Delphi murders. But because we were interested in documenting that to send to law enforcement, they tried to turn it back on us and report us to law enforcement to have us swatted. And it just was a fail. And it's funny because my police have gotten to the point where they get so many calls from these idiots that they just laugh and call me. Or if I see them, I'll see them in town somewhere, and he'll say, hey, man. He's like, man, you still doing that YouTube channel? Yeah. He's like, man. He said, I tell him don't call back. He's like, and remember, speaking of lawfare. Remember, these trolls have tried their hardest to use the courts against us for speaking out about this case too. That's another thing where this woman here, she's like, basically she's doing troll farm tactics, right? That's what she'll do. Because like Jinx will go and provoke. And so Noe gets out the phone and he records her. He's like, why are you stalking me? And then she goes and files for a restraining order. Oh, I'm afraid for my life. Troll farm tactics. It's like weaponizing law enforcement and weaponizing the court system and restraining orders and cease and desist against those who are out here speaking the truth. I mean, it's clear as day to anyone who would actually open their eyes and look at it. And this is what she has done. This is why she's getting backlash. Because even though they won't acknowledge it in Noe's instance or in my instance, their eyes are open enough to see that that's clearly what she's doing in her instance. Okay. She's weaponizing the court system, weaponizing law enforcement. And the next step will be CPS, trust me, because that's what they love to do. They love to weaponize your job. They call your job. They call your former employers, your current employers, your co-workers. They call the CPS, like I've said, to try to weaponize CPS. They call your police to try to weaponize the police. And then they try to use the court system. So I guess that pretty much brings me full circle to the end of my rant and my opinions on this woman's insane campaign right now. But like I said, I think the community is just as much to blame as she is, because there's no reason that this should be all the buzz right now. There's more important things you could all be talking about other than some whack job and her delusions. No, she wasn't stalked. Okay, she wasn't death threatened. She wasn't harassed with law enforcement. So there's no victim there. Okay, the real victims in this community are on the receiving end of all of those things. You understand? If you're on the receiving end of literal endless death threats, if you can count, if it takes more than 2 hands to count the death threats, you're probably on the receiving end of you're an actual victim in true crime. If you're on the receiving end of more than a dozen mailings coming to your house, you're probably a true victim of harassment and true crime. If you're a victim of more than a handful of phone calls to your police trying to get you harassed with law enforcement, you're probably a true victim in true crime. And we all are true victims in true crime. And this one back here, she ain't. Okay. And I hope that everyone can really be clear on that. And I've said before, remember, when you try to claim, it's like you diffuse the word, you take the power of the word. So let's say when you, did I forget? They call us pedophiles repeatedly too. If you've been called a pedophile at least 20 times, you might start to be considered a victim of defamation in true crime. When you're on the receiving end of being called a pedophile, when you advocate for children, yeah, that hurts. That's being victimized. But like I've said about that, it's really disgusting because for anyone to pretend to be a victim's advocate and to point at people who are not pedophiles and say, there's a pedophile, you're a pedophile, you're a pedophile. That's not doing a service, because you're taking the power out of the word, the meaning out of the word. So therefore, when they're actual pedophiles, the word has less meaning. And use any word, put any word in that place. Grapist. He's a rapist, he's a rapist, he's a rapist. Well, what about the real ones? And that's, in essence, what she's doing. She's saying, stalker, stalker, stalker. And there's no stalking. There's clapback because people don't like what you have done. That's called reality. Now, you start to show me a tenth of what any of us have endured, then I might start to hear what you're saying. But this has been a real exaggeration, blown out of proportion, narcissistic, crazy-making victimhood campaign that's just, it's illogical. It's unacceptable. And I think that's why she's getting the backlash. It's, we're adults here. We're not 12-year-old little girls. We don't need to be acting like middle schoolers. And that's why I called this a DELPHI stalking and true crime, the Butthurt Edition. I don't know. My takeaway is she's butthurt over some friendship falling apart. Okay, so you're butthurt. Who cares? Like I say, as far as DELPHI, the way the DELPHI crowd is looking at you, we think it's karma because you celebrated a man being railroaded, wrongfully convicted, and you did it with glee while dancing around the courthouse and having beers and having big old party with Jerry Holman and Nick McClellan. And that's disgusting. But let me show you something. Okay, so there was something I did want to show you if I can manage. Let's see. Let's see. Come on, baby. Do a screen share. All right. So one of the things I wanted to show, let's see if I can get this looking better. Well, I'll just show this. So on my channel, I have some playlists. You know what I mean? Some playlists. So like this one is called Exposing the DELPHI Troll Farm. Exposing the DELPHI Troll Farm. And this is what I mean. I'm not going to go through all of this shit again with you all. Okay. But it's all here on the channel. So like this Exposing the DELPHI Troll Farm playlist. Remember this incident with the fake obituary? The fake obituary. You guys remember that? They made a fake obituary. They talked about being in with the family, evidence of stalking. Look, Anthony Greeno threatens to kill me in a voicemail. That's that one. It's only a Anthony Greeno threatens to kill me because of a misunderstanding that on his end, nothing I did. Look, little Frankie's leak web. Remember how all the leaks were done by the troll farm and blamed on the defense? Do you guys realize that yet? I think it's important to since I'm here, let me reiterate it. All the leaks in DELPHI have been twofold. The Mean Girls, okay, so prior to Rick Allen's trial, the Mean Girls were behind all the leaks, okay, and all of these leaks were documented by Tobor and Murder Sheet. They were leaking that which they were getting from Matt Hoffman, okay? All the Mean Girls were leaking, but here's the important thing. At that point in time, it was all behind the scenes and it wasn't crime scene photos. Well, In Delphi, after the Franks memorandum was released, remember I said that set off a shitstorm? It was like a nuclear bomb being dropped on the community. The Franks memorandum, September 18th. Okay. When that Franks memorandum dropped, almost immediately, the troll farm, which means the prosecution shills, began an entire crime scene photo leak campaign. And let me tell you this right now. Not one of them has ever told the fucking truth about it, okay? So when it came, how am I going to say this? When it came to the crime scene photo leaks, which occurred after the Franks memorandum was filed, by October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the troll farm, the Delphi murders troll farm, began leaking the crime scene photos. And they continued after the death of Robert Fortson, leaking the crime scene photos. Okay, those crime scene photos were only leaked by the Delphi murders troll farm. Every single person involved in those crime scene photo leaks lied about it. They still haven't told the truth. They will pass the buck. They will point the finger. They will give you half truths, and they will point at other people, but not one of them, not even a single one of those motherfuckers have ever told the truth about the crime scene photos leaks that happened immediately after the release of the Franks memorandum. And everyone seems to forget it. People actually act like they don't know it. Because remember, there was an effort to blame Rick Snay. This goes back to Rick again. See, what they tried to do, because you as well as I know that Rick is a little unpredictable. They thought if we give them to Rick, he'll leak them for us. That way, the troll farm would leak them, but they could give them to Rick, and they thought Rick would put them on his show, and therefore it would take the heat off of them as being the leakers. But no, Rick was smarter than that because he is smart, and he didn't leak them. He instead chose not to put them on his channel, which left them in a conundrum because now they had to explain how they all had them and were sharing them, and Rick Snay didn't. So they sent him the murder sheet. But not one of the fucking troll farm has ever admitted that it was all them behind those leaks. And like I said, they blamed the defense. Remember who got blamed for that? As a matter of fact, they almost got arrested and thrown off the case. Remember that? That was the state of Indiana. That was the troll farms. The defense had nothing to do with it. It was all the troll farm. And who got blamed? They attempted to blame Rick and the defense, but it was all troll farm. Now, what's funny about that, and this is where it's going to hurt, because remember, we do have a dead guy who left behind a little girl, a daughter, and a wife over this whole debacle. But anyhow, fast forward to this year. The Mean Girls decided, hey, we're going to leak some shit ourselves. But we're going to do it from a double VPN protected server and IP address. And we're going to obfuscate the pathways, and we're going to not claim that it's us. And so they decided they were going to go on a leaking campaign. And when that started, I immediately blasted it all over YouTube and called them out on it. So that temporarily put the brakes on it. But since then, they found another doofus YouTube creator who's willing to leak for them. So what they've been doing now is handing everything to her. So for the past 6 months, we've had a litany of leaks of discovery That's all come from the Mean Girls. And all of this stuff has been attempted to be obfuscated by being posted on Google Drives and shit and dropped on Reddit or whatever, blah, 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 on Twitter. But it's absolutely clear. So I guess the point I'm making is that it's the uniparty. Okay. It's like basically it's the cover up that's leaking it all the fucking leaks. Now, I don't know why I went on that tirade, but I guess I was trying to show you that there's this entire thing. And remember, you see, I put leaks bombshell in here. I put bombshell contempt proceeding stuff. Remember, there was the fog reveal. Remember, law enforcement chose not to do a fog reveal. Remember, law enforcement was made very well aware of the proprietary fog reveal possibility, and they chose not to know who was at the crime scene, right? Remember the geofencing, and they chose not to do the proprietary fog reveal. They also chose to ignore and not investigate the 3 phones that were lingering around the crime scene at the time they say this abduction happened. And you see, it just goes on and on and on. But there's all of these videos here. I call exposing the troll farm, right? And look here, you'll see all the drunk. This is the circus outside of the trial. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to show you. Then we got this one, right? This I call exposing the PR campaign, right? And if you go here, you'll see that this is 4 Pits whistleblowing the meth game. This is my message. This is a Roblox video that they tried to have us arrested for. I talk about the battle for control of the defense. I talk about the Mean Girls repeatedly. I talk about the PR debacle. I should talk about the fake BG video. Adrian and I discussing the harassment. Jake Brooks calling in, talking about the stupid contract. Okay, they tried to take hold of the Allen family by forcing them to sign a contract to retain the Mean Girls and the 2 state actor attorneys. They tried to force their way into representing the Allens officially so that they could derail the appeal. Okay, they wanted to derail the appeal by attempting a Davis-Hatton procedure with some sort of flaccid evidence that would it would basically sidetrack any post-conviction remedy if the appeal fails. And hey, let's be honest here. This is DELPHI. It's very likely this this appellate team will fail because we're not sure whether or not the appellate team is even honorable or trustworthy. Okay. And I show you a bunch of stuff like talking about those earrings. Remember the earrings that no one tested, even though they went and they swabbed those earrings. Remember Tina Rodell and the mythical earrings? They went swabbed those earrings, but they didn't use the fucking swabs. They just wasted everyone's time. Troll farm. What do we have here? We have little Frankie blowing the whistle on the troll farm. This is a great listen. We have I see monkeys. It's not a circus. Here where I talk about all the code of ethics or professional conduct for the lawyers in Indiana. And if you listen to these 3, it will become very apparent to you which aspects of the code of professional conduct have been overstepped or violated by the attorneys involved in this case. And I put here my entire series of Friday night fights. Okay, my entire series of Friday night live streams addressing the whole Mean Girls attack that lasted 5 months on me viciously, and then has gone a little longer. I don't know how Shirley Kirk ended up on in this last one, but don't mind it. This Chat GPT was interesting because Chat GPT thoroughly laid out the PR campaign tactics. I highly recommend watching this video, a discussion with Chat GPT on Delphi. It's amazing how it discusses the troll farm and the mean girls and what a uniparty, unified PR campaign would look like and cover up the murders. This is an amazing live stream, Chat GPT me, or Chat GP me. Crabius Hank, I talk about Osbrook's brothers and all the spooks. Okay, all the spooks. Osbrook's brother is a spook. He stood up the Department of Homeland Security for George Bush. He currently runs a CIA front company that employs nothing but spooks. Feds, DEA, FBI, DHS, CIA. Okay. And there's just a bunch. There's the money. Remember, All Eyes lied about the money. Listen, All Eyes tried to say that all 49,000, I don't know, something like 49,000 was spent. There's no money left. There's 9,000 in the hole. Well, that's not true. Andy Baldwin told me himself that he only spent a few thousand out of that fundraiser. So that means there should be at least 32 to 34,000 left in that fundraiser. He only spent, quote, a few thousand, quote, a few thousand he took out of that. He says he is in the hole for more than 12,000 because he spent money out of his law firm's fund rather than pulling money out of the fundraiser for certain things. So he says, although his firm is thousands of dollars in the hole, that he only used a few thousand out of the fundraiser. Therefore, those 30 whatever thousand should be left for Rick's next trial. And Andy said that's what he wants it used for. Because remember, that money was raised specifically for experts. Now, my whole question is, why in the fuck wasn't it used in the first place for the first trial? They could have hired a crime scene reconstructionist, all kind of experts, and they chose not to. I wish they would not have chose not to. They should have hired a bunch of experts having $40,000 to play with, but for some reason they didn't. Anyhow, Andy Baldwin claims 30-something thousands left. So that show is called Show Me the Money. Now, my question is this. Remember, Teresa raised $5,000 for transcripts. Remember that? More than $5,000 for transcripts. To purchase transcripts from the court. That was fundraised specifically for that purpose. Then the transcripts magically appeared for free, and all of that money was kept. Now, how do you feel about that, community? Because, you know, I sure could use $5,000. I mean, hell, should I just make up a make-believe fundraiser? Let me see. What do we need to raise funds for? How about a billboard for Richard Allen? Okay, guys, it's going to cost me $5,000 to put up a billboard, let's say in New York City. I'm going to put a billboard up in New York City. $5,000. It's going to, now fuck it. Let's go with 10. Okay, guys, I'm trying to raise $10,000 for a billboard in New York City to publicize the Delphi wrongful conviction of Richard Allen and the cover-up. Okay, guys, so we're going to raise $10,000, and I'm going to use it, to purchase billboard space in Times Square. Okay, and it's going to publicize the Delphi murder. It's going to make us go viral. Okay, so I'm going to need donations, and I'm going to have all kind of creators sit up here with frowny shitbag faces, and we're going to grift the $10,000 off the community to go put up a billboard for Rick Allen. Okay, guys? Even though Kathy Allen says she doesn't want money raised in his name, but we'll do it anyway. And then what's going to happen, I'm going to get a volunteer who's going to give me free billboard space, and they're going to put up a free billboard for Rick Allen in Times Square. And then I'll just keep the 10,000 because, you know, y'all won't mind. But seriously, what if I would do that? Could you imagine? Well, fuck the billboard. What if I had raised $5,000 for transcripts and then I got them for free. Do you think the community would have let me get away with that? Being they won't even let me get away with saying cunt one time. Okay, just a rhetorical question for you guys. Anyway, there's plenty of other stuff. I also talk here about the forced attempt to remove the defense. I got one called "Shoot the Messenger" because obviously that's what this community likes to do: is shoot me for telling the truth. Remember, I've showed you receipts for everything. I've told the truth about everything. If I've got something wrong, I'm always willing to be corrected. But remember, Mean Girls haven't put up a single receipt for anything they've said. They just claim things and expect everyone to believe it. Troll Farm as well. Anyway, as you can see, I put a bunch of video here. Look, this is Anthony Schatz, flame throwing the Delphi bullshit, debunking the state. You've got a shitload. If you really want to know about my theory of the crime that's based in receipts from the community, this Timelines in the Delphi Murders fictional narrative scenario, Prelude Part 1 and Part 2, these are amazing. One covers the sleepover. The other one covers the events of that day. And then the third one, which I call Part 2, covers the quote unquote fake ass search. And all of these episodes, Timelines, Part 1, 2, 3, they all cover the community's allegations and using receipts for the actual happenings of that day, okay, and the day after. Let's see. And there's all kind of shit. Okay, I'll leave that for you. I just wanted to show you. Just give me a moment. All right. So that there is, I wanted to show you that those playlists exist. In case you're wondering about something, it's all there. And like I said, if any of you listening and anyone in the sound of my voice, I don't care who you are, if you have a doubt, email me. My email's in the damn link tree. As a matter of fact, oops, what was that? Okay, as a matter of fact, there's the link tree. Let me pin that. Come on, Prof. All right, for anyone interested, there's a link tree. The link tree contains my email address so that you can message me with any questions if you need proof of anything that you're wondering about, including my death threats. I'll gladly send you my death threats. You can always email me. I'm an open book. The link tree also has the link to my funding pathways. Now let's talk about that. Because since I'm talking about fundraising, remember last week I announced that I'm trying to raise $100. I didn't get any cash apps. Guys, please support the channel or send the channel to those you know will support the channel. I got the cash app is what I'm trying to push money to right now because my GoFundMe is so far off. No one ever goes over there. And the Buy Me a Coffee is more for monthly subscriptions. But if you want to send me a one-time donation and YouTube not take 30%, then please send a Cash App because the Cash App, I don't know, they take 3%, whereas the YouTube Super Chats take like 30% or something. So please support the channel at the Cash App, Coffee for Prof. Or if you want to support on a monthly basis, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee. And that's also in the link tree if you're looking for that stuff. And what else is in the link tree? Now we're going to get to Shibby's favorite. In the link tree, you'll also find my Twitch channel. And guys, I got great news. We have been doing well in getting people to go over to Twitch. We finally got more than 50. So we are getting 1% of our people to go to Twitch. But please go on to Twitch. Shibby's going to probably share it. It's the Prof allegedly at Twitch. On Thursday nights only, we do Twitch streams which are just chit chat, hanging out, no big stress, no big show. It's just a place for us to hang out on Thursday nights. And typically, I'll clip it or put something on YouTube in the days following. But our Thursday night Twitch stream is pretty fun. So if you go over there, do me a favor, go over there and follow me. But when you create an account, use something similar to your YouTube name so I know who you are, because I love knowing who you are. So go over there to Twitch. That's our Thursday night Twitch streams. And everyone is welcome, even those who hate me. Come on over there. We'll kick you out if you're too bitchy. So I'm trying to get the Twitch built up at least, I don't know, 10% of the YouTubes. Come on, y'all. Go over to Twitch and subscribe. I appreciate it over there. And otherwise, you'll find me back here on Friday night. Okay, so if I don't see you on Twitch or at Twitch tomorrow, I'll catch you on Friday back here. And yes. So I think that's about covers what I wanted to cover. Thank you, Shivy. Yes. Thursday night Twitch, Prof allegedly. Okay. It's a fun kind of live chat is my basically my basic takeaway is the live chat is fun over there because it has different emojis and different little perks. And the more followers we get, the more perks we have in the chat, and we can customize emojis and different things. I think I got to get now to 100. So I'm more than halfway there. So thanks everyone who's gone over there. But please join me over there on Thursdays. It's fun. All right. So anyway, I saw a lot of good chat tonight. I appreciate everyone chatting. I know I was on a sort of on my soapbox. But that's going to be the last I say about this, unless something comes up. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that this is all a distraction, that there's something. Now, hey, we never know if it has something personally to do with her or to do with the case in general. But I guarantee you, I would suspect that there's something coming soon or some news is going to drop that's going to be real bad news for them. And I think because there's going to be real bad news for them, they're creating all of this distraction. So it's going to be interesting to see. I would say let's keep our eyes out the next couple weeks. Just be waiting for it. Let's see what might pop off that we could identify and say, aha, that's why they made all this distraction. Because it's literally been a distraction campaign, in my opinion. But yeah, I may eat a piece of chocolate and see if you have any questions. Just a minute. It definitely is chocolate time. Kind of starving already. Hey, Shibby, and anyone else, you're welcome to drop links now. If it's a new day, want to drop her link, people can go subscribe to her. Maybe you can drop In Light in the Dark. People can go subscribe to Adrian. Maybe you can drop uh, Dr. Corbo. Maybe you can drop Erica Morris's channel. Maybe you can drop Rotting Jewels. Maybe you can drop Four Pit Bulls Across America. Please drop all my channel links for everybody so that my viewers can go over there and meet some of my community members. Anyhow, for my viewers here, like I said, in my link tree, you got everything you need, or in the channel description. I truly appreciate you. Oh, yeah. Hey, Christina. You go subscribe to her. Any of our viewers in the live chat who has a channel, and drop your link and go subscribe to our viewers' channels. Did I just put chocolate on my the chocolate cheek now? It's probably good for your skin. Can we start doing chocolate masks? Is that going to be the new thing? I think I could make a business in this town. Hey, soccer moms, chocolate masks. Okay. Good for the skin. Anyway, that about covers it for me. Now, like I said, I could have done this way differently, which I almost thought to do, which was to put up all my death threats on the screen, to put up all the photos of the mail I've received, to put up all the harassment, all the stalking. But I thought, you guys don't need that. I mean, if you want to see it, I'll give it to you. There's ways to go find it. I've already done that in the past, so tried to spare you having to look at all that again. But I think I got off my chest the things that I wanted to say. So I truly appreciate you all sticking around to hear it and to listen. Because, I mean, look, I think it's an equally bad look for hidden true crime. Okay, it's a terrible look for hidden true crime, but it's also sort of an equally bad look for the true crime community, for everyone to feel like they had to go do live streams and responding to it, because in a way you made it go viral. And it's, so I guess both sides of this coin are ugly. And that's my bottom line with that story. So I'm done with it. I don't want to talk about it anymore unless we figure out what the hell is going on with whatever they're trying to distract from in the next weeks. Hey, thank you, Dr. Corporal. Hey, yo, another thing. Speaking of my little silver auction, yo, I put a nix on that because I literally only had one email. Okay, I had one email. So you guys are interesting. But anyhow, to the person who emailed me, I plan on responding to you. It's just I hadn't responded yet because I thought, well, we'll see if anyone else reaches out, but no one reached out. So I don't think you guys are too interested in that, but I'll just drop it. But like I said, we'll find some other things to do. My attempt was to find something fun to do every week that we could participate and that would also support the channel. So I don't know. We can't do bake sales. How the hell am I going to get you some pies or muffins? Come on. Oh, was it you, Dino? Dino, you're the only one. So can't do bake sales. All right. Can't do a bingo. So I thought we could auction off silver, but no one's interested in silver. So I'll keep my silver unless you guys come up with a better idea. You come up with something you want to do, I'll do it. All right. You can cook real good. I love to eat. I'm a good cook too, you know? Thank you, Carla Ann. Well, that's what I want to hear. Finally coerced you into going and following on Twitch? Perfect. And hey, it's a new day. Email me too. Maybe we can do a phone call tomorrow or something. Or when you're not working. Christina, be nice. You're bullying her. I miss you too. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's it for me. I'm going to do a little shorter show than usual, but I'm done. I'm hungry. So let's get out of here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, heavy metal. Like I'm thinking Friday nights is good for that. I want to do Friday nights. But yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow on Twitch and back here on Friday, all right? So y'all peace out. Hug your kids and hug your wives, all right? And husbands too if you got them. Hey, special shout out to David Rogers for gifting whoever got the membership. Appreciate you to gifting a membership. And Mama Bear, thanks for renewing your membership. All right, thanks for being members, y'all. And I'll catch you later. And so let me go ahead and get out of here and turn my damn phone back on.
Well, obviously, we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they're raping everybody out here. I'm legally blind.
It was our job to help law enforcement. It was our job to help law enforcement.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Prof is a fucking terrorist. Prof is a fucking terrorist. A fucking pedophile, sympathizing fucking terrorist.
Oh my God! I'm legally blind.
as an expert at being Mickey Mouse, yeah, I can say seriously, yeah, you're right, Rick. This is some Mickey Mouse bullshit.
Bruh. I'm legally blind.